wish all my bros happy new year. So Peter,
Yeah.
happy new year.
Happy New Year to you and all the bros and gals and whatever.
Gals. Bros and gals. Happy new year, folk.
Happy New Year, folk. And I've always said on all the TikTok lives and stuff, I'm like, I don't care what you identify as, girl, boy, whatever you want, as long as you
Happy
like
New
baseball and you understand it's not gambling advice. We're wishing you a happy new year. That's the boat that we're in, I think.
And you're bringing the positive vibes into 2022. Like, who cares? This is the Just Baseball Show. I'm Jack McMullen. He's Peter Apple. I've got the Apple Pencil. I've got the iPad. It's an iPad episode because we are playing GM of the St. Louis Cardinals today. And this is a bizarre organization.
It's tough. 90-72 record. They made the playoffs. They lost in the wild card game to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They won 17 games in a row to slingshot themselves. But there's some issues here we got to go through.
Yeah, but are they issues? Because historically they have taken care of the issues.
Exactly. Historically, this team is so good. So we have to hold them to a little bit of a higher standard. And I assume that Cardinals fans would respect that we're not dealing with the middle of the pack team. This is the damn St. Louis Cardinals, the team that has won the second most World Series in the history of Major League Baseball. We're going to hold you to a higher standard, and we're going to talk
fair.
About it. I think
way
to
bring the juice. Yeah, you're bringing the juice. Up
because I've been on this freaking computer for the past 3 days, just going through this roster, being like, all right, where am I going to go? Shortstop. What do we do? Starting pitching. What do we do? This bullpen, going through everything. So I'm a little bit stressed out because after these 3 days, I have some ideas, but nothing is absolutely concrete. Like maybe with some of these other organizations when we played GM on the podcast over these past few weeks.
When we're about to get into it, before we do, I've got kind of something I heard for you. It's not really something I heard. It's a Twitter account that you have to go look at.
Okay.
Kendrick Lobstar. Kendrick, Lobstar. He's got this annual ritual of air frying something for 2 hours. Last year, it was a hot dog. And he chronicled it in like a thread. This year, he air fried a Big Mac for 2 hours. And he went in like 10-second spurts. He provided an update on Twitter. And he just dropped it. Like new air fry came out.
Oh,
and it's the Big Mac. And I mean, this thread is the best thing you'll find. So I will I'll retweet it after this. The lockout blows. I'm looking at people air frying Big Macs for 2 hours and just reading about the putrid odor that it exudes.
One question, is this a yearly air fry? So it's one account that does a yearly food item once a year. And like, this is the big moment.
They tweet other things too, but this is his calling card. This is his magnum opus is air frying annually.
Well, just in. Fans deny being offered on-site medical evaluation by Washington football team after railing collapse at FedEx Field.
Okay.
Huh?
What does that mean?
Just got that alert. ESPN they'll send you any alert. And
they pushed it out, man.
Fans deny being offered on-site. What?
Nah, screw it. Can we talk about the Antonio Brown thing for a moment? That was crazy.
We've seen guys retire at halftime. A Colts player, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a cornerback. I'm forgetting his name, retired at halftime. We've never seen
it was a Bill.
Someone. It might have been a Bill. Was it maybe against the Colts?
Yeah, I think so.
But we've never seen a man take off his pads, take off his jersey, and run through the end zone with his shirt off. The funniest part about it, did you see on Twitter the picture of him getting an Uber from the stadium?
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of him in the Uber?
No.
Yeah. And
no way.
And then yesterday, he fulfilled a cameo request, and it was like 5 minutes of him talking about why he doesn't think Big Ben is going to retire.
Dude. And he also dropped a single.
He dropped a single.
So my thinking is, did he go directly from the Uber from the stadium to the recording studio? and
No,
record a song? Or do you think that was pre-recorded?
That was pre-recorded. It was just to generate some traction. I think it was a publicity stunt. What he just did.
It's way funnier if he went straight from the stadium to the recording studio and did that.
Going to trace his true passion. On a more serious note about that, I hope he's mentally okay, because we know that there are some serious mental things going on there. And I liked the sentiments that Tom Brady echoed there, just saying like, we're friends, like our friendship is good. I just hope he's all okay there. So that's that. But let's talk about the St. Louis Cardinals, because you mentioned they won 17 games in a row to get them into the wild card game. If they don't do that, they might have had a 500 record.
They were 71-69 before the 17-game win streak. That's the kind of team that we were dealing with. But that's why we love baseball so much, right? Because anything can happen. And this team went to the playoffs. And I think they kind of overachieved, and they have some questions to answer, because yes, is this the best defensive team in baseball? Absolutely. Is this one of the best defensive teams we've ever seen? Quite possibly. But beyond that, they have starting pitching issues. They have bullpen issues. I know the top three in their bullpen, Giovanni Gallegos, Genesis Cabrera, Alex Reyes, are elite, but they all have a similar problem that we're going to get into later. And then this offense, well, they were 18th in WRC plus as a team. There are pitfalls here. There are injury concerns, and there are some stat concerns that I'd like to talk about in a little bit. But how do you view the Cardinals on a granular level? Yeah, on the what is
I handwritten notes on the iPad.
That's why I laughed initially, because you showed me the iPad, but it literally looks like a whiteboard right now. And that's what we do here at the Just Baseball Show. We're that crazy that just because it's not one of our favorite teams, we will dive headfirst into your team and try and figure it out. We will make it our team.
Yeah, it's the always sunny diagram that takes up the entire wall. I do that for every single team. I broke out the iPad whiteboard for the Cleveland Guardians. I'm breaking it out now for the St. Louis Cardinals. I do want to mention that you just said granular, not granular. The granular level is.
I said granular.
By bit. No, you said granular.
I might have, but flubbed. I meant granular. I might have just flubbed. You always got to point it out, Dick.
Yeah, I'm just an asshole. That's how this works. But an asshole with an iPad.
Facts.
And here's how I sorted this iPad. I went starting pitchers, bullpen guys, catchers, infielders, outfielders, and I've got middle infielder, corner infielder, like wherever they, may play specifically next to them in parentheses. I've also got some prospects. And then look at this. I've got another page of possible targets and free agency and trades. So why don't we start with who they actually have in-house?
I think
Let's go position by position.
I think it's fair.
Do you want to start hitters or pitchers?
Hitters.
Okay, let's start at the catching position, because they just re-signed Yadi Molina, who's going to play in his age 63 season this upcoming year. Okay. Yadi is obviously the starting catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. There's zero question. Their backup, Andrew Knizer, like fine, meh. And then you also have Ivan Herrera, who hit 229 with a 746 OPS, 17 bombs, and mostly Double-A last year. Okay. Had some time in Triple-A. Like, he could be the third catcher there. Do you see the need? Do you see the need for improvement?
Just Yadier Molina. Let's move on. Catcher is Yadier Molina. No, I mean, what do you do? Are you going to replace him?
Like, he's like 50. He might need a break like 2 days a week.
I don't think he does. I'm fine. I actually don't think they need to do anything to the catcher position right now.
Okay.
What do you?
How about No, like I wouldn't mind like a 1-year deal for like a Luke Maile type.
Yeah. I thought you meant like, are they trending towards maybe getting a legit starter and maybe going half and half? Okay, there we go then. Yeah.
Hell no. Yadi's the catcher. Come on.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Okay. Let's work around the infield right now. Paul Goldschmidt's the first baseman. There's no question about that.
He is such a beast, dude. He is so good. I just have to say that. I really like him.
Yeah, he's amazing. Now, Danny Vietti with CBS Sports put out he put out a tweet of all of the metrics that Nolan Arenado was at a career low at this past year.
Very nice.
Granted, his career low was still like an 805 OPS.
That's not that good of an OPS though.
But it's Nolan Arenado, so there's
It's Nolan
obviously no
Arenado.
change at third.
I'm not worried.
So middle infield is where it gets really interesting.
Yes.
You've got Tommy Edman, who is obviously, he was a Gold Glove second baseman. He's obviously going to be a middle infielder for you.
Definitely.
And then you've got Edmundo Sosa and Paul DeJong.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your shortstop options right now.
Mm-hmm.
You need an upgrade?
I mean, if I'm viewing the St. Louis Cardinals as a legit playoff team, yes. Do I think Paul DeJong and Edmundo Sosa can be serviceable, solid shortstop options? Also, yes.
Who's the better one?
I still like DeJong's bat. I know he had the worst offensive season of his career, but I still rely on him. He's 28 years old. I think he's still at least decent. I like Edmundo Sosa, but I just don't know how the bat is going to continue to play. They're both pretty solid on defense. I don't think Edmundo has this crazy upside potential on offense that maybe a DeJong has if DeJong can put it together again. But DeJong was a 197, 284, 390 slash line. But it's funny. Nobody questions Edman's offense kind of at all because he's such an exciting player and he does so much on the diamond. But the reality is he had an OPS under 700 as well. This middle infield is just so interesting because they're all great gloves.
I like Sosa's floor better. I like DeJong's ceiling better.
Yeah.
The best day of Paul DeJong is better than the best day of Edmundo Sosa, but the worst day of Edmundo Sosa, I'm sleeping better at night than the worst day of Paul DeJong.
The thing is, you have so many consistent players around the diamond now. Wouldn't you rather take the higher ceiling guy if you're the St. Louis Cardinals?
I don't know, but Sosa's fast as shit.
Is that it?
I mean, speed and defense. He's the better defender, and he's the quicker guy. You're taking the bat of DeJong.
But is he that much of a better defender? And it's not like his speed is translating into more stolen bases. I know stolen bases, don't always, equal speed, but I'm just saying, I don't think that he's adding an element of speed that is game changing to the St. Louis Cardinals enough for me to really buy into that.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to come back to the middle infielder in a minute because I do have a prospect area of this as well.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about one of those guys there, but the outfield is totally set, like 150% set. You've got Tyler O'Neill in left. You've got Harrison Bader in center. You've got Dylan Carlson in right. Lars Nootbaar, the fourth outfielder right now. And then Juan Yepes, if need be, can slot into a corner outfield. He can also give Paul Goldschmidt a day off at first if he needs it. But Goldschmidt's the type of guy that can play 163 games a season.
So I have a take about the St. Louis Cardinals outfield. I think this could be one of the best outfields in baseball, maybe the best outfield in baseball. I think the only thing holding these guys back is their injury history. Besides Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader, Dylan Carlson, they were dealing with injuries. Are they going to be able to stay healthy? Harrison Bader has already an injury history. Dylan Carlson is still young. Starting off with an injury isn't too hot. That's the only thing keeping them from being the best outfield in baseball is them all just staying healthy. Can we get 150 games out of all of them? If we get 150 out of all of them, that is a very exciting trio.
If you get 150 out of all three of those guys, they're a 95 wins team at least.
Oh, well, a lot of different things need to work out. We'll talk about the starting pitching in the bullpen because that's hot.
But that's the best outfield in baseball. And you look at what Harrison Bader just did, 103 games. He was hampered by injury this year, but in 103 games, he had a 785 OPS, which was very solid. I mean, the guy slugged 460. That was the best mark of his career. He hit 16 bombs. I think he's going to get better too. And I mean, Bader was a Gold Glover. I don't see a weakness in this outfield. There is no need to improve on the starting outfield whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to jump back into the prospect realm in terms of position players, right?
Can I just tell you where this offense kind of finished in 2021 so we get kind of a good idea where they stacked up? Because it's a lot of solid names across the diamond, But the reality of this situation is they finished 15th in WRC plus. And a common trend that I'm seeing with the Cardinals is that their hitters don't walk. They were 24th in walk rate, and their pitchers walk a ton of dudes. They had the third worst K-9 as a staff. I wonder if the reason for moving off Schilt and hiring a guy like Ollie Marmol as their new manager is straight up, we are buying into completely the analytics revolution in baseball. That we want to get away from guys who don't walk versus guys that walk a ton of dudes on the mound. I'm curious if that's something that they're thinking about when they look at this roster.
But I just think that's got to happen on the field as well as happening in the dugout. And they just took care of it in the dugout. But like, this roster is not constructed to be an analytical baseball team.
I know. I wonder if they're really trying to change that. I bet they are.
So do they make trade splashes, right? Like, that's the big question. How much of this roster do you blow up right now? Because Tyler O'Neill, he can be an analytical guy's dream. Dylan Carlson, like, maybe, but you've got Tommy Edman, who's their nightmare. You don't want Tommy Edman on this team. You got Adam Wainwright. Adam Wainwright's their nightmare. You're not going to trade Waino. It's hard to look at this roster and say that they're going to make this switch to being fully analytical or fully not, because they've just got a little bit of each.
That's a good point. My only thing is, I just think that I think that they're actively trying to move towards that kind of direction.
Yeah. Prospects. You've got two guys with an ETA right around 2024, Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, who we like a lot. Mason Wynn could be that two-way guy. He was throwing 100 in bullpen roles with high A this year. Jordan Walker, we think, is one of the best prospects in baseball. His 2021 was insane. This guy rakes. Nolan Gorman is the MLB ready bat. Is Nolan Gorman your second baseman?
That's the thing. If Nolan Gorman is your second baseman, who's your shortstop? Because it's Tommy Edman moving off, but Tommy Edman hasn't played that many games at shortstop, but I think he can. He's got that good of a glove, and the arm, I think, translates as well. I think he can play shortstop. I just think you might be losing the value as a second baseman because he's so good over there. And then at the bat doesn't translate as well to shortstop as it would at second base. Not to say that he can't, because I had another idea, which I was talking about in the Just Baseball chat, that kind of got shot down. But I still think that it could be a decent move. And you're shaking your head. I don't know if you like it either. There's a guy on the Oakland A's. His name is Tony Kemp, and he had a 127 WRC plus last year. He walked more than he struck out. He's a guy that walks a ton. Maybe the Cardinals might be interested in that. He's cheap. He's only making around $2 million a year. Do you possibly go get him from the Oakland A's and move Edman over to shortstop? But you can also, continue to play Edman at second, move DeYoung, and just keep DeYoung or Sosa at shortstop, because Tony Kemp can also play the outfield. Because like I said, around the outfield, this is a trio that has had injury history, and we'd love them to all play 150 games, but I don't think it's fair to expect that all out of those three guys. So he can then go play the outfield too. He's just a guy who gets on base. It really got shot down because they're like, no, Tony Kemp sucks. And I'm like, he walks. I'm not saying he's going to change the fabric of their franchise. Not the sexiest move in the world, but I feel like he adds a dimension to the Cardinals that they're currently lacking in right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're talking to a guy who has possible targets from free agency as Luke Maile and Eddie Adrianza. Like, that's not sexy whatsoever. But
the problem is a lot of these guys are taken already.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing with Tony Kemp. Like, if that is your move, if that's your main move in 2022.
It's not the main move.
Okay, so like,
saying.
I like it as a minor move. Who do you give up for Tony Kemp?
You don't have to give up much.
Not at all. Like, Tony Kemp played 131 games this year with Oakland. The only other time he's played north of 100 games was 2019. So he's on his second full season of playing 100 games. But in 2016, he played like 60 games. 2017, he had a cup of coffee with Houston. 2018, he played 97 games. Like, this guy is not a full-time guy whatsoever. And I know that's what you were saying, but I also want to point to the hitting numbers. Yes, he walked more than he struck out. He was at 52 walks, 51 strikeouts, but his 800 OPS, that's the best OPS of his career by north of 50 points. This is the second year, besides 2018, where he had an OPS plus north of 100. He also hit 279. He has never hit before 250 before in a season. So are you getting somebody that actually makes an impact when they come off the bench? Like, are you getting the best Swiss Army knife out there? And I think the answer is like, no, and you're not close. But he's a Major League Baseball player.
I think you're forgetting that Tony Kemp at 30 years old might be a developing ace. I think that's what you're forgetting.
Yeah. Well, he and Danny Duffy, I think, should be a package deal. Is Danny Duffy still a Dodger or is he a free agent?
Danny Duffy is currently a free agent, and every team should be lining up for Danny Duffy because he's elite.
And he went to your high school, so naturally he's a 32-year-old developing ace.
Developing ace. Didn't actually go to my high school, just in the surrounding area, and I'm a big Danny Duffy fan.
Wait, so you bought into Danny Duffy even though he didn't go to your high school?
Surrounding area.
Okay. Santa Barbara is like kind of a big area.
Surrounding area. I'm a Danny Duffy fan. I'll leave it at that.
I'm bought into Corey Ray because he's from Chicago, Illinois. Fair?
It's bigger than baseball.
Third biggest city in America, but he's from my town.
I think that's fair. If you said that, I'm not gonna make fun of you like you're making fun of me. I think that Tony Kemp would add a different dimension to the St. Louis Cardinals. He's a guy who walks. The Cardinals don't walk at all. He can play a bunch of different positions for a team that has injury history. It's not that complicated. You wouldn't be giving up that much. He's a bench bat. I'm not saying he's going to start at second base. Come on.
Okay. All right, fine. I want to talk about who they could go get offensively, and then I want to get to the pitching, because I was thinking, let's rehash the offense they have now and then the pitching that they have now and then make additions. But I feel like the way this is trending, we should go offense they have now, offense that they can add, and then pitching they have now, pitching they can add.
Mm-hmm.
Here's who I see St. Louis going after. You pointed out Tony Kemp. Luke Maile, Eddie Adrianza, like, okay, those would suck. Like, sign them to minor league deals. Go ahead. Sure. I don't care. 1 year, $800,000.
Shout out those
free
guys,
agency wise. Shout out those guys. Good guys.
Yeah.
Good free guys. Agency wise. I still like Trevor Story. You're $52 million under the luxury tax space available for 2022 right now. Trevor Story, I think the market at him looks identical to Javi Baez, who signed 6 years, 140. That's about 22 a year. That leaves you some money to operate. Like, if the Cardinals offered Story 6 years, 140, I think that makes a ton of sense.
No, I agree. I like the Story acquisition. You know, the Cardinals have had a very solid history of getting these Rockies guys. It all goes back to Larry Walker, even Matt Holliday, now Nolan Arenado, just to name a few. And so they've done that before. And I've said it before. I think Trevor Story fits very well on the St. Louis Cardinals, slotting right next to Nolan Arenado. You could say there was one shortstop that is currently a free agent who led all shortstops in walk rate. Do you know who that is?
It's not Andrelton Simmons. Who is it?
It's Carlos Correa, who could probably get,
God,
$300 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they need but do they need a shortstop though? I keep going back and forth because it's like, is DeYoung good? I don't know. I think he's fine. I think Edmundo Sosa is fine. I like these guys. But at some point, where on this roster do you make the jump from good to great? You make the roster from good to great at the shortstop position, in my opinion. And that's going to get a guy like Correa or Trevor Story.
Yeah. So I don't think they do it. Do you think they do it?
No, I don't think that they do it.
Because they're having this identity crisis in the middle infield right now. So yes. Edman's not going anywhere. You have Sosa, DeYoung, and Gorman, who is one of your prized prospects to work with right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at trades. I want to give you 3 shortstops.
Love this.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 1.
Okay.
He's got nowhere to be now in the middle infield. He can play third for Texas, but Seager's at short, Simeon's at second.
Yeah, but is he that good?
No, you're not going to go get a superstar via trade.
I'm just saying, is he that much of an upgrade over DeYoung, who they are paying a lot of money to still?
I don't know. So let me throw you option 2.
Fair.
Because Kiner-Falefa is actually my least favorite option out of the 3.
I like it.
Option 2, Nicky Lopez. That would create the best defensive team ever assembled.
I know. Just adding more of these dudes.
And the analytics guys hate him.
Hate him. Well, because the thing is, Nicky Lopez, outside of the glove, yes, did he hit 300, but he didn't walk a ton. He didn't slug at all. His margin for error is kind of small because if he doesn't hit for that high of an average, he's not that valuable to your team. But the glove, I mean, they could just, imagine Nicky Lopez in that infield too, with Arenado, Nicky Lopez, Edman, and Goldschmidt. There might not be a ball let through the infield the entire year.
And then if it does somehow get through over the second base bag, you've got Harrison Bader out in center field waiting.
And then Dylan Carlson, those two have cannons. And Tyler O'Neill's a great defender and left too.
I think by the way, Yachty's the catcher. Yachty's the catcher.
This is a sick team in like a weird way.
It's a sick team. Okay. Third shortstop option. It's going to take a little bit more, but I still think you can do it with the means that you have to go get this guy because it's interdivision. But Luis Urias.
Oh, yeah. I like Luis Urias. I do like Luis Urias. But are these... First, I just think, would the Royals trade Nicky Lopez? Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. They're getting Bobby Witt Jr. Why wouldn't they?
And they got Mondesi.
But Luis Urias... they have Bryce, the Brewers do. They have Bryce Terang coming up, but is he going to be the shortstop of the future?
But they got Willie Adames.
Yeah, they do. And they have Colton Long at second. Yeah, they do. In division, though?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, the pot's got to be a little bit bigger.
I think we go with Tony Kemp.
What a joke.
Dude, it's not a joke.
Oh,
this is tough because it's not like it's a pitfall. It's not like they were 18th at WRC plus, 2 spots ahead of the New York Yankees, for example. Like, this is not an area where I think to myself, all right, this is a hole right in the middle of the diamond. No, it's just not great. And they have 2 options who are fine. And I don't know what to do.
Okay. So if I'm John Mozeliak, I think I'm just kind of being a pansy and I'm not doing anything.
I think I'm also not doing anything, weirdly enough, even though like he should, but if he doesn't, then you have to get starting pitching or more bullpen help. You have to do that.
Okay, so we're going to transition here. I've got one more name that I want you to put in your back pocket right now. There's a guy in free agency that's sitting out there. It's not an infielder. It's an outfielder. But I have some moves that I'm going to throw you that are earth-shaking in terms of the starting rotation, and you need a 4th outfielder to have because I'm shipping somebody off. Eddie Rosario is still a free agent. I think you can get him for about 2 years, $10 million. Keep Eddie Rosario in your back pocket right now.
He's in my back pocket.
So yeah, perfect. He's in mine too. I am flipping back to my other iPad screen right now, and we're going pitching. I want to start with the bullpen because a lot of people say that the Cardinals need bullpen help. I say they don't need any bullpen help at all.
Continue because I'm going to go at you slightly, not a lot, because I somewhat agree, but I think there's some holes which they could fill with some guys who aren't that expensive right now.
I'm not looking at closer setup. I'm not looking at who's throwing the 9th to the 8th right now. I am playing a sheer numbers game. And in terms of good major league relievers, I see Giovanni Gallegos, Alex Reyes, Genesis Cabrera, and Jordan Hicks when he gets healthy. Mm-hmm. When I see MLB relievers who can have good outings for you, I see Cody Whitley, Ryan Helsley, and TJ McFarland. Mm-hmm. That's TJ McFarland's gone. Guys.
If I'm not, isn't TJ McFarland gone?
No, I think he's still there.
Beep boop, beep boop. TJ McFarland team since 2021. I think he's a free agent, bro.
I don't
current
think
team.
So I'm on Spot Track right now. This guy, he's making $2.5 million from the Cardinals in 2022.
Why did I read something that he's not on the Cardinals anymore? My mistake.
I don't know. Is that OAN? Is that One American News? You and Mike Gundy getting all right. So I see 7 guys.
Okay.
Push back on me.
No, I'm not pushing back on you. Nothing that you said there was incorrect. I just think there's two guys, Ryan Tepera and Andrew Chafin, who you could just add to this bullpen. And the only reason why is because when you look at all those names, where's the veteran back there?
There isn't one.
It's a very young bullpen. That's why I'm saying you could add some of those guys and to the back end of the bullpen to help with Alex Reyes, help with Gallegos, help with Genesis Cabrera, because there is an issue in the back end of this bullpen. Remember, and just an issue in this entire staff as a whole. Remember when I was talking to you about the K per nine? This is with Alex Reyes, just walks everybody. Genesis Cabrera, Giovanni Gallegos, all these guys, they walk a ton of dudes. Could a guy like Ryan Tepera come in, guy like Andrew Chafin come in, maybe aid with that a little bit? I'm just saying, maybe add a little bit of a veteran presence.
No, I like the idea of generic 34-year-old white guy.
Me too. You throw one of those guys in, proves a walk rate.
Okay, so this might just be like my Cardinals bias because for some reason I love watching the St. Louis Cardinals.
I do too.
Cody Whitley and Ryan Helsley are very fun relievers to watch.
Ryan Helsley's awesome.
He's awesome.
I played. He was in college and he stayed at Dustin Demeter's house. As one of those, one of those players that he was playing for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It's like one of those teams in the area that stays with like a house family, stuff like that.
A host family, like a collegiate summer league. You have a host family.
Exactly. I was playing poker with him. And this is why I always think Ryan Helsley's got big balls. He takes me all in.
Damn.
And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I got ace king. And there's, I got 2 pair on the table. I'm like, what could he have? And I fold. He bluffed me. And I'm like, you know what? You're going to be a really good MLB pitcher. So I'm always in on Ryan Helsley.
That's a great anecdote.
Yeah. He's got big nuts. I can tell.
I'm Buck Weston, and we've got balls.
We've got balls. He's got balls. And he also throws 100.
I love that just went right over your head. That was kicking and screaming, one of Will Ferrell's finest works.
You know that I'm not going to understand your pop culture movie references. Like,
okay.
How many episodes of Just Baseball Show have we done?
This is 132.
Yeah,
I think so. Here's the thing, though. You tweeted that you were going to watch a movie for the first time pretty much in your entire life. What movie did you watch?
Don't Look Up. Really good.
Oh, Leo?
Funny.
Okay.
Yeah, funny.
Still got to watch it. I just finished
it's on Netflix. You like that?
You?
Yeah. Did you like that?
Did I like you?
Yeah. Did you like you?
Yeah. Are we doing the Laura Ingraham thing right now? Did you see that video?
Oh,
where the health expert
not.
was just like, I'm
on
you.
Cardinals Fangraphs.
God. All right. Well, I don't typically watch Fox News either, but Laura Ingraham was there. She had a you conversation, but I liked you. Penn Badgley is a very good actor. I hated his ass. And that made him good. You know what I mean? Like, when you hate the main character, you keep watching. He generated this strong emotion within me. So I was bought in. Let's go.
I like that.
But back to the Cardinals. So I don't think you need to make any move here with the relievers, but I am not shuddering and saying, you shouldn't have done that if you go get Tepera or Chafin. I like that. Jordan Hicks, he's healthy for spring training if spring training happens on time. I saw that apparently there is no negotiation or talk scheduled between Major League Baseball and the MLBPA. I just want to brush that aside because if I get into it, it'll piss me the hell off, and I just don't want to be pissed off right now.
I agree. Can we not? It's not even making me mad anymore. It's just making me depressed. But let's just keep going.
Like, come on. So Hicks is going to be ready by spring training if it happens on time. Jordan Hicks, when he's healthy, is a top flight reliever just because he throws an 104-mile-an-hour sinker.
Turbo sinker. Like Blake Trinan. Turbo. Brusar Gratterall. Absolute turbo.
Is that onomatopoeia?
That's his sinker.
Let's talk about the rotation now, because I might fry your brain when I get going on the starting rotation. Okay. The current 5 right now are Jack Flaherty, Adam Wainwright, Steven Matz, who they just signed, Miles Michaelis, and Dakota Hudson. You've got Matthew Liberatore waiting in the wings, who can be MLB ready.
Do you think he's going to be good?
Yes.
How good?
Yes.
Because I think I feel like the vibe is that he's going to be a starting pitcher savior in a way. And I don't see it that much.
No.
I think he's going to be fine.
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a 4.
Yeah, like a 3 or 4. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, Aram gives me shit all the time because I call 2s 1s and I call 3s 2s. Like I always go up 1, but I think Libby's a 4. I'm not even going to give him 3, but he's going to be a fine 4.
Okay. Like, do you think he's going to be better than Jordan Montgomery of the Yankees?
I think he's going to be same plane.
Yeah, like fine. Pretty good. That's what I see from him is the reason why I mentioned him. Because I think he's like a good pitcher who will, his ERA will probably be in the high 3s and he'll muddy along there. And it'll be,
There was a time where I viewed Liberator and Logan Gilbert the same way. But then like Gilbert just gradually made his way up and Libby made his way gradually down.
I don't even know if he made his way down. I think Logan Gilbert just kind of hopped up there.
Yeah, but like
Liberator had an ERA over the 4s and a FIP over the 4s in AAA last year. That's just where we're at right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about improvement because I see 3 guys. Like I've got 3 answers here. Because Liberator, I think he starts in Memphis. I wouldn't be shocked if he spent the entirety of this year in Memphis if Mozeliak and Ali Marmol just decide that Liberator is not ready this year.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to win a World Series this year. So I see, obviously, Flaherty, Wainwright, Matz as 3 starters for you. You just paid Matz to be a full-time starter for you. But Michaelis and Dakota Hudson ain't going to get it done.
I like Dakota Hudson. As a pitcher, I actually think he's pretty solid when he pitches. But the fact of the matter is, Dakota Hudson, he has 150 innings in his career, but yet he debuted in 2018. This is a guy who just hasn't really stayed healthy. Miles Michaelis, another solid guy who just hasn't really been able to stay healthy. And he's also a guy who doesn't strike out that many guys, 6 to 7 per 9 innings. And another guy, we just talked about Steven Matz. I know you're relying on him to be the 3, but he's never thrown above 160 innings in his career, and he has a 4.24 career ERA and a 4.34 FIP. You signed him to a 4-year deal.
He's a 4.
Yeah. And a guy who hasn't been able to stay healthy through most of his career.
I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to gradually work my way up.
Okay.
With possible additions here because we're on the same page.
Talking about Wainwright and Flaherty, maybe the fact that Wainwright's going into his age 40 season. Is he going to throw 200 innings again? Jack Flaherty's also coming off an injury. Like, I'm scared.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you need to add multiple arms.
Yeah.
Multiple starting pitchers.
But I like Dakota Hudson for no reason.
God, yeah.
No reason. No, I like him though. I do like him. I think he's got solid stuff. It's just, can he stay healthy? But I there's something about him. He's got moxie.
All right. So you like Dakota Hudson more than I like him. I like Matz more than you like him.
They also have Jake Woodford, who is
come on now.
He's a pitcher.
He is. Yeah. He throws baseballs.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at the free agent market right now.
Okay.
You could take the flyer on the geezer, relatively speaking. Yeah, John Lester for a little bit. Why not just go get him on another 1-year deal?
No. All right. Move on.
Okay. Cole Hamels.
Oh, no. Move on.
Okay. Matthew Boyd.
I like Matthew Boyd. Okay. We're getting somewhere. And a guy who eats innings.
And he gave up a ton of bombs.
Yeah, And you don't want guys like that because you want guys who have a good ground ball rate, put the ball in play for this defense. You don't want guys who are privy to the home run. And he gives up a lot of bombs in a park that just is huge.
Yeah, you're not supposed to give up bombs there.
Yeah, in Detroit. I do overall think Matt Boyd is a decent pitcher. Maybe not the best fit for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay, fair. Now, I don't have any big free agent splashes. My big splashes come in the trade market. I've got 2 more free agent starters that I want to run by you. The Cardinals let Kwon Yoon Kim's contract expire. 2 years, $8 million. That's what they signed him for out of Korea. It's done. He's in the open market. Could you bring Kwon Yoon Kim back?
The thing is, when I was looking at KK Kim. I like him, but he's another guy who doesn't strike out a lot of hitters and walks a lot of guys. I think they're just trying to get away from some of those guys in the rotation. I just seriously doubt that they bring him back. Is he a fine pitcher and could he be serviceable for another team?
Yeah,
I think so. I think he's a big league pitcher. I just don't know if he's going to continue to fit with the way the Cardinals are trending, in my opinion.
Okay. Wild card here. Final free agent I want to throw out here. Aaron Sanchez.
I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that one bit.
I mean, you remember that Cy Young caliber start that he had in Toronto?
I do remember that. Very well.
And then he just kind of fell off.
Don't the Cardinals feel like a team that can kind of go in and fix him a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
I like that one. I mean, what about a guy like Zach Greinke?
No, I just don't like. If you're saying no to Lester and Hamels, why are you saying yes to Zach Greinke?
Because Zach Greinke's better than both of those guys. And he eats innings. And it still eats innings. You know, a guy who doesn't eat innings, but it's pretty good. Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, like
he's good. Strikes out a lot of guys.
He's gonna get overpaid for what he's done.
Is he?
But I think Rodon's really good.
But the thing is, where are you going to spend money then if you're the St. Louis Cardinals?
Trevor Story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. Carlos Correa, I'm down. I'm sure Cardinals fans are down too. But it's just you're paying DeYoung this money. It's like, I think you just, although it's not the sexy option, I think you just got to give him another shot. So then if you're giving him another shot and you're not going to go get Tony Kemp, then you should go get an expensive starting pitcher like a Carlos Rodon. He's not going to be that expensive. Like he's not going to absolutely break the bank.
Yeah, the more that you make me think about Rodon in a Cardinals uniform, the more I like it.
Looks sexy, I bet. Him in red.
Elevated 100.
What does that mean?
Elevated 100. Like he is.
Throwing elevated 100.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a new stat about Rodon.
Elevated
100 stat.
Elevated 100 with what we know is a world-class slider, and then that new development of the curveball too. Like the question is just durability. And you can go get the John Lester. You can go sign somebody mid-season to deal with Rodon if he runs into injury concerns again. But like, I like it. I like paying Rodon.
They also don't currently have like a solid lefty in that rotation as well. You know, losing J.A. Happ.
Matz.
Is he a solid lefty?
He's a lefty.
He is. No, he's all right. That was going too far. He is solid when he pitches.
Right. There's a difference between a solid lefty and a good lefty. And Matz is a solid lefty. Rodon, when on, is a great lefty.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that.
Okay.
No, this is tough.
It's hard. It's really hard. That's why GMs get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
3 starters via trade.
Okay.
2 of them are on the same team.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said that. That would have given after I mentioned the first one, it's going to give away the next one.
Okay.
Actually, no, it won't.
Okay.
First one. This guy stands alone. Zach Plesac.
I like it. Okay. I like it a lot.
Nolan Gorman and Lars Nootbaar for Zach Plesac.
Huh. Is that too much?
I don't think so.
Lars is kind of sick out of nowhere.
But like Lars Nootbaar and Eddie Rosario are the same person if you go sign Eddie Rosario.
Kind of.
They're the fourth outfielder. They're the fourth outfielder.
Is Eddie Rosario better than Lars Nootbaar?
I think
the question that baseball fans need to figure out.
Right. Oh, by the way, did you see the poll that I ran about Joe Nathan and Mark Burley? Who gets your Hall of Fame vote? Did you see the finish?
No, I didn't see the finish. I saw, I think it was like with 2 hours left, we were at a 52-48.
Okay.
In favor of Burley.
The final was 51-49 Burley.
Wow. I still would go with Nathan. But it's again, we're splitting hairs here. I think Mark Burley,
A 51-49 is the mark of a great poll.
That is a great poll.
Good. It was good. Next poll: Eddie Rosario or Lars Nootbaar? Who's better?
Not even who would
That
you
might-
rather have moving forward, just like who's better currently.
Who's better at
What
baseball?
at bat?
Eddie Rosario, Lars Nootbaar. Yeah, you got to send one of those guys up. That might be another 51-49. But I don't. So I think the Cards have already showed their hand with Gorman, and that's dropped his stock.
I agree.
They're kind of confused of where to put Gorman.
But you could always, spin zone it in the fact that, we're just moving Gorman over to second base because we have Nolan Arenado. We still think very highly of him, and they should, think pretty decently high of him. He's still a solid prospect. It's just how much better is he than Tommy Edman, than Paul DeJong, than Edmundo Sosa? You're shaking.
I think Edman's better than Gorman, but I think Gorman is better than Sosa and DeJong.
Is Edman gonna hit next year?
I hope so.
He better.
God, I hope so.
Because we're just slotting him in at second. And I know he's a phenomenal defender. And
He's
he
a
does
Gold
lot
Glover.
more than hit. He's a Gold Glover. I know. But so is the, like, at some point, you got to hit, though. I mean, you can't have an OPS below 700.
Omar Vizquel was getting Hall of Fame votes. And
I think he shouldn't.
Me too. Okay. Please sack for Gorman and Nootbaar.
I love it.
I want you to
I
power
just
rank
think it
these
might be
three
a little
deals.
bit too much, but you don't think it's too much? You think it's solid?
I don't think it's too much.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I would do it.
Next one. Jordan Walker, Lars Nootbaar, and a filler for Tyler Glasnow.
Oh, you're going to have to give up more.
Jordan Walker's
I know.
a top 20 prospect.
Tyler Glasnow is a top 10 pitcher when he's healthy.
Yeah, but he's going to miss all of this year.
Yeah.
And Tampa's going to have to pay him, and they're obviously not going to. Everybody knows that.
You're making me...
Walker, Nootbaar, Nick Plummer for Tyler Glasnow.
I have a hard time thinking that the Rays would do that. You're getting a fourth outfielder and a lottery ticket. No, I mean, calling him a lottery ticket
Not a lottery
is
ticket.
not fair. It's not fair. I'm just saying, well, let's see him repeat this season that he had. You know what I'm saying? Like he burst onto the scene.
But
I think he'll be good.
Shouldn't the idea of Walker at third, Wander Franco at short for the next 10 years, like get Rays fans off?
Does sound good. Yandy Diaz, though. Sick.
Stuck.
He is good. I will not take any slander on his behalf. But I know I agree with you. No, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Next and final one.
On that. Okay.
You ready for this one?
I am.
Same deal. Jordan Walker, Lars Nootbaar, and a filler for Shane McClanahan.
Why would the Rays? Yeah. I'm just thinking, why would the Rays trade these young, controllable starting pitchers who are
because they think they grow on trees. They grow on trees in Tampa.
They're growing on trees currently, but there's no way that the Tampa Bay Rays can just continually push out.
What do you mean?
Really good young starters. They are, though.
They've done it.
They are. Yeah, they are.
They have. They will continue to do it.
I don't hate it, but it's hard for me to grasp the Rays truly doing that, just because these guys are so young and they have so much potential. And it's like, how do you gauge that potential?
Doesn't it feel like, if you were to go into Eric Neander's mind, doesn't it feel like Glasnow is a little bit more expendable than McClanahan?
That's what I was saying. When you even said McClanahan, even though I prefer Glasnow, it seems like he would be more expendable because you're going to have to pay him first, and he's going to be much more expensive than I think McClanahan will be.
And the Cards can pay it. Remember, they're $52 million under the luxury tax for 2022.
That's why I was saying, I don't know what the problem is with getting Carlos Rodon. Like, that's a guy you don't need to trade Jordan Walker for. And is Jordan Walker the heir apparent to Nolan Arenado as he ages?
But like, Arenado's got a 10-year deal. Like, he's got 10 more years.
It's a lot of years. No, not 10 more, right? Doesn't he have 8 more?
How many more? Let's see. On to spot track we go.
I don't think he has, maybe even less than 8.
Nolan Arenado, he's got 7. He hits 6. He hits the books in 2028 as a 37-year-old.
I wonder how that contract's going to age. Did we just see the decline of Nolan Arenado, or are we seeing a down offensive season and he's going to come right back roaring? That's the question that Cardinals fans need the answer to. And I need the answer to.
I think it's the latter.
I hope it's the latter. He's that talented.
Me too.
But he was at Coors for a while.
Coors.
Coors.
It's like a curse word. Coors.
It is a curse word.
Coors, the banquet beer. All right. Perfect world. Let's run around the defense and then run through the starting rotation.
Can I add 2 more bullpen arms that I think are kind of interesting?
Yes.
Brad Boxberger is a free agent. Former Brewer. I'm going strictly no numbers here. Knows the mind of the Brewers within the division. Maybe he comes over. That's another veteran. Another guy. I like Ian Kennedy. I think Ian Kennedy is good. I think he's solid, and he's a free agent. I just think that the Cardinals need to add veterans to the back end of this bullpen. That's the main point. And I think Boxberger and Ian Kennedy are solid guys that they can do that with.
Okay, yeah. So I say veterans, but I'll push back on back end of the bullpen. I think they have to add veterans to the bullpen. But I think if you have Hicks, Gallegos, and Reyes in the back end, like those guys are more talented than anybody you're going to sign.
I'm just saying those guys were gassed at the end of the season. Gas.
Yeah.
You can see it.
So just play the numbers game then. Power and numbers. Okay, out of the 4 that you just mentioned, Kennedy, Boxberger, Chafin, Tepera, rank them 1 to 4 in who you want.
I'd want. Is it bad that I want Boxberger the most?
Yeah.
It is bad.
He's 4 for me.
I'll go Tepera 1. I'll go Chafin 2. You know what? Screw you. Boxberger 1, Tepera 2, Chafin 3. No, Kennedy 3. No, Chafin 3, Kennedy 4. No. Kennedy 3, Chafin 4. Yes. Boxberger 1 for sure, though.
I can't believe we sit
I
here
love
and do a
Boxberger.
podcast together all the time.
Boxberger has gotten me through so many games where I bet on the Brewers and just gotten through the thick of it. I like him.
Okay. I go Tepera 1, Kennedy 2, Chafin 3, Boxberger 4.
Sleeping on Boxberger.
Maybe. You know what? I'm okay with that.
He has the insights to that Brewers staff that was just insane in a little league ballpark. He's got to know something.
I'm gonna revisit episode 132 when Brad Boxberger bowls the Eric Gagne and wins the Cy Young as a reliever.
I just want people to understand that I was on Brad Boxberger first when he wins the 2022 Cy Young, and Tony Kemp wins the 2022 NL MVP.
It's all in writing.
NL MVP.
It's all in writing.
All right, good.
You got it. I just wrote it on the iPad.
Good. Put it in writing.
Okay. Around the diamond real quick before we wrap. Yachty at catcher, Goldie at first, Edman at second. Who do you want as your shortstop? I think we're going platoon DeYoung and Sosa.
You give DeYoung the shot, and if the bat is just not there, you roll with Sosa, or you make a big deadline play for a shortstop. It's possible. I just don't know if like Lopez, kind of Falefa, those guys are the answer. Like, are they big upgrades? Like, are we trying to make them elite? Or are we trying to just kind of, move around the diamond?
I think it's story, or you stay with what you got.
You don't think at all they should even put in a word for Carlos Correa? You don't think so?
But like,
I mean, he was the best defender in baseball, or at least one of them last year. I mean, that defense still.
Listen, it's no knock on Carlos Correa. I'm not saying they shouldn't because I don't believe in Carlos Correa. I'm saying they shouldn't because like he's $350 million.
Is he though? Is he actually going to get more than Seager? Because I feel like
Yeah,
he's not gonna.
I think he is.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how GMs actually evaluate these two head to head, because Correa's had his injury problems before. He's never put up offensive seasons like he did last year. I mean, in spots, but he's also a guy who struggled to stay healthy. I know the same could be said about Corey Seager. Corey Seager's a 2020 World Series MVP. You know,
Correa is one of
I
the best
don't.
postseason performers all time.
Is he? No. Is he?
That's what the numbers say. Altuve and Correa are two of the most prolific power hitters in the postseason all time.
I'll check the numbers after that. I don't know if I believe you about Correa. I believe you about Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve and Correa. Okay, so Story or stay the same at short. Arenado at third, O'Neill in left, Bader in center, Carlson in right. Paint me the starting rotation with any of the free agent or trade moves that we just throw out there.
All right. You have Wainwright at the top with Flaherty, and you have Carlos Rodon, Steven Matz, and I think you throw in one of your guys.
Please, Zach.
Yeah. That's a rotation then. Because then you don't have to rely on Wainwright. I mean, he threw 206 innings last year. He was one of 4 pitchers to do that in Major League Baseball. Is he going to do that again at 40? Like, you need Jack Flaherty to bounce back. You need a lot of things to work out. You need Steven Matz to put together his healthiest season that he's ever put up as he ages. I didn't understand the 4-year deal for Steven Matz. I really didn't.
I thought somebody was going to pay him that.
I didn't think it would be the Cardinals of all teams, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so how about this? I like that. How about Flaherty, Wainwright, Rodon, Plesac, and Matz?
That's good, because then Matz is like a lottery ticket in a way. Like, if Matz gives you anything, that's just prime. And then you have to go to Hudson to fill in. Jake Woodford.
And that means you're without Nolan Gorman. You have to ship off Gorman to go get Plesac. You're without Nootbaar, but go sign Eddie Rosario with the leftover cash that you have.
Ben.
I think that's it.
Or Jock Peterson.
Or Jock. I think that's
a
big improvement.
I agree. I like it. Because that's a young outfield too. They could use a veteran back there.
Okay.
They got some veterans around there though.
You happy with where we just left off with the Cardinals?
Which of those relievers are you getting as well? Like, who? I know we just ranked them and we went through a lot of different names.
Let's go get Tepera.
Grab two.
Let's go get Tepera and Chafin.
Boxberger.
Tepera and Boxberger.
Yes. Boom.
Okay. I'll concede. Tepera and Boxberger.
I'm in. That was fun.
That was fun.
That was good. This is a good team now.
Yeah, let's do it again with another team next week.
Are people going to be mad that we didn't address shortstop, really? I don't know what they actually should do.
No, like, I think we did. It's like, go get Story or go get or don't go get anybody. Like, I think do nothing is a fair answer here.
And I think it is also fair to give DeYoung another shot.
Yeah.
Or you go win a World Series batting Tony Kemp.
Listen, you can die on the Tony Kemp hill. I still might die on the ship off DeYoung for some relief pieces and platoon Sosa and Adrianza.
It's one of the least sexiest sentences I've ever heard on this podcast.
Yeah. That's what we're here for, though. We talk baseball during a lockout. We're going to mention Eddie Adrianza at some point.
I'm excited to keep going over these. And also make sure, so you'll find in the link of the description of this podcast, our bigger than baseball shirt. I'm wearing it right now for all those people on YouTube. Some things are just hashtag bigger in baseball. We are still donating all of the proceeds from these shirts down to the surrounding areas of Lexington, Kentucky, after the tornadoes ravaged those towns. Please make sure to go check out the link and get yourself a t-shirt, because we are also matching up to $500 and sending down there to the charities in Kentucky and the surrounding states as well.
We got Aram and I doing Cardinals prospects tomorrow. It's Cards Week. We got Tucker Davidson on Thursday. You and me are going to be talking to the Braves left-hander.
That's going to be fun.
And then we got a mailbag on Friday. And then we'll dive into a new team next week.
Yes. So we have a mailbag on Friday, which we did at towards the middle of the season, where we asked the questions on TikTok, but we're going to put it on Instagram. So stay tuned on there at Just Baseball Fans and at Just Baseball Show. We're going to make a graphic and you can ask your questions to be featured on Friday's podcast with Aram, Jack, and I. We're going to dive in. The Cardinals, I hope Cardinals fans like this one because we really looked into it and there were so many different options that we could go to, because I think you and I, we've grown a love for some specific teams, and the Cardinals are definitely in that boat.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners are the three teams that I have just totally adopted.
I got something for the Philadelphia Phillies. I just want them to win. I also am loving what the Mets are doing. I am very excited to watch the New York Mets. I am very excited to watch Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom. I think Francisco Lindor is going to bounce back. I grew a love for the Giants this year, San Francisco Giants. And there's some other teams, but those are the three that stick out to me: the Mets, Phillies, and the Giants.
All right. I am Cardinals, Blue Jays, Mariners.
I like it. Thank you, everybody.